Right now on KGW News, poised to break records. If you like the heat, you'll love tomorrow. Also tonight, the bizarre crime spree that left one vehicle gutted and others with stab marks. Then emotional testimony from the widow of a Vancouver police officer.
There were shots, and I wasn't sure where they came from.
As she recounts the chaotic night he was shot and killed by mistake. And later,
we are pretty much at a breaking point, and we need help.
Why first responders in Gresham say they can't keep up without raising your taxes. Good evening, everyone, and we begin tonight with a number we don't normally see much of in May. It is 90. That's how hot it could get in some spots on your Friday. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Mulco, along with Chief Meteorologist Matt Zaffino. And Matt, the swing this week has just been wild.
Yeah, and it's going to get even warmer tomorrow than it did today. Today was the first day of the year that we've been in the 80s. It's so warm out. It's 65 right now. That's close to our average high temperature for this date. And here we are at 11 o'clock at night. So yes, it is a very warm forecast going forward through the weekend. We're running about 4, 6, even 8, 9 degrees warmer than we were at this time last night. Even double-digit warming over at the Oregon coast. So we made the 80s today. We will be warmer tomorrow as we climb into the 90s for the first time since the middle of September. I'm forecasting 91 for tomorrow. That'll be a record high for the date, too. Now, we'll be close on Saturday, but I think we stay just below 90. Then we cool off a little bit more after that. But again, it's been, 6 months or so since we've been in the 90s, so we're going to feel that. The average date of our first 90-degree day doesn't come until June 18th, so think about that. We're going to do this more than a month sooner than average, so it is really quite impressive, the warming that we get. Now, as I mentioned, we cool off on Mother's Day. We cool off even more early next week. But with this clear sky, there's something that we need to be looking for in the sky tomorrow night and on Saturday night. There's a geomagnetic storm watch out, and that means we've got a pretty good chance of seeing the northern lights. More on how they form and why we should look and where we should look in a bit. David, back to you.
Yeah, we don't have a real storm. Might as well have a geomagnetic storm.
There you go.
Thank you, Matt. Meanwhile, Multnomah County health officials have urged caution because of tomorrow's forecast. They say it is all about the transition and that the first few hot days of the year can be harder since our bodies aren't quite used to it. If you're out and about, hydration, they say, is key to avoid heat exhaustion.
Heat exhaustion can be simply having excessive sweating. Some people may have rapid heartbeat or shallow breathing. They may get muscle aches or nausea or vomiting. We want to make sure you get people hydrated and in the shade pretty quickly if they start exhibiting any signs of heat exhaustion.
Health officials will decide tomorrow whether this warrants opening cooling centers over the weekend. Developing tonight, 7 hours and counting with an East Multnomah County neighborhood still surrounded by police. They say they are looking for a suspect who may have broken into a home. This is happening in the area of Bridge Street near Northeast 223rd in Fairview. The sheriff's office really saying little other than that they're searching in a relatively small area and that there is no immediate danger to people in the rest of the neighborhood. Bridge Street there is still blocked with the search ongoing. Well, now to emotional testimony from the wife of a Vancouver police officer mistakenly shot and killed by a deputy while authorities were trying to stop a robbery suspect. Now that suspect is on trial for murder. Ashley Graham's with the update.
This Clark County courtroom was silent Thursday as Donise Sahota took the stand. She's the wife of Donald Sahota, a Vancouver police officer who was mistakenly shot and killed by a Clark County deputy in January 2022. But that deputy wasn't charged. 22-year-old Julio Segura is the defendant in this murder trial. Segura was charged for his actions leading up to the deadly shooting of Sahota.
We were having, candlelight dinner. Romantic dinner.
On the night Sahota was killed, the couple was enjoying dinner together until they heard someone repeatedly ringing the doorbell. Sahota says she called 911 while her husband talked to Segura. You can see the two men standing in the driveway in this drone video.
He was very aggressive about needing to come into the house. And I remember hearing Dawn say, "You can't come in, but I can help you."
Then the 911 operator told Sahota officers were looking for someone in connection with an armed robbery. She then told her husband.
I remember my husband saying he was an officer and attempting to detain him.
Then Sahota says she saw Segura reaching for something. Segura started stabbing her husband.
I thought he was just hitting him.
You didn't see the knife?
I did not.
Then a patrol car pulls into the driveway.
I remember just yelling, "Help him." As
Sahota tried to shut the door, Segura burst inside the house. Sahota's husband was still outside.
It all happened so fast, but we heard there were shots, and I wasn't sure where they came from.
Those were the shots, fired by a Clark County deputy, that killed her husband.
I thought he would be there. I obviously knew he was hurt, but I didn't know what had happened. At that point,
Segura's defense attorney cross-examined Sahota for about 20 minutes, questioning parts of her testimony. Segura argues he didn't know Sahota was a police officer and that he was acting in self-defense. Ashley Grams, KGW News.
To get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now, police in Salem have arrested a man they say attacked a stranger with a pistol. This all started this afternoon at Court and High Streets Northeast near the Marion County Circuit Court. Police say the suspect, who they've now identified as 21-year-old Enrique Hatfield, tried to get on a bus and then started shouting threats. Witnesses say he later pulled out a gun, pointed it at someone, and then hit a woman in the face with the weapon before knocking her to the ground and kicking her. The woman was treated at the scene. To a strange crime spree in Portland where a woman is facing arson charges after authorities say she stabbed cars with a knife. 42-year-old Ellie Shama Matthews also allegedly set a parked car on fire. This was just afternoon near Southwest Barber and 26th. No one was injured, and police say there are indications the suspect was having a mental health crisis. Matthews was arrested and faces charges that include criminal mischief and menacing. And smoke filled the evening sky tonight in North Portland after an industrial fire broke out at the Schnitzer Steel facility on North Lombard. These are photos from Portland Fire. They say the blaze burned in a debris pile of combustible mixed metals that included things like shredded cars and all the stuff inside of them. Crews say there were no reports of injuries. Okay, we are less than 2 weeks out from Oregon's primary, and in Gresham, voters will have to decide on whether to approve a levy that would boost the ranks of first responders. And as Alma McCarty found out, the proposal makes some key changes from another ballot measure that failed just last year.
At Station 74 in Gresham.
So we've held fire station open houses throughout this, kind of to educate the community.
A chance to learn, to see up close what firefighters have and what they lack.
Gresham's population has grown significantly over the years, while we have the same number of firefighters we have every day since 1990. We are pretty much at a breaking point, and we need help.
Kevin Larson, Gresham Fire's union president, explains that to retain staff and hire on more, voters will need to approve a public safety levy. If passed, the owner of a home assessed at $200,000 would pay about $25.65 per month, or about $308 per year.
My hope is that the community sees the need for investment in public safety and that they vote yes on the ballot box.
We're behind the eight ball. We're trying to catch up.
Sergeant Matt Galbraith leads the Gresham Police Officers Association. This levy covers Gresham PD too.
This levy is still well below national standard for delivery. It's one of those, I think we can get there. I think the community could do this, but they have to want to do it.
In 2023, voters rejected a similar levy, so the city went back to the drawing board.
They had it before them a year ago. The value of that was changed from $1.50, and it was lessened to hopefully get a yes vote, because the need's realistic and the need for the police department is exponential.
Both police and fire fear the consequences should voters deny funding once again.
Fire department and the police department want to be able to serve, but we only have so many resources to dedicate to that.
We want to be the fire department that responds, when minutes matter. It's really important that we get there.
Worth noting, the ballot measure last year, which again failed to pass, also had funding for homeless services
as part of the proposal. This one just focuses on public safety. David?
Yeah, thank you, Alma. A lot on the ballot this year. Election Day, by the way, is Tuesday, May 21st. Today, both Multnomah and Clackamas counties let us know that they have finished sending out their ballots, and all voters should have received them by now. If you have not, or you need a replacement, be sure to contact your local elections office. If you want to mail your ballot in, a reminder, it must be postmarked no later than May 21st, postmarked, not in the mailbox. Otherwise, you have until 8 p.m. that day to drop off your ballot at any elections office or official drop box. You're watching KGW News, and still ahead at 11, the First Lady's here. Then she's gone, where Jill Biden went on her very quick stop in the Rose City. Plus, tax error in your favor. And no, we're not talking about the kicker, why you could be one of thousands of Oregonians who might be getting more money back. That's next.